blocks your hair follicles. Grease is really bad for your hair.
Well, actually it's not if you know how to use it, and I'm going to show you the correct way. Welcome back to my channel, it's your girl Kiki, and if you are new here, I do all things curly hair tips, product reviews and styling. In today's video, I'm going to show and tell you the right way that you should be using grease in order to grow and retain length. Grease has been used in the black community for a number of years. It's definitely an old favourite for a lot of us, and I remember when I was younger and I used to get my hair braided, my mum would always put the tub of grease in the fridge before she braided my hair, so that when it came to putting it on my scalp, it was nice and cold, and that feeling of the cold grease on my hair after my braids were so tight was just like the most relieving thing. I know some of you can relate, but that is just, it's such a nostalgic thing for me, grease, and I know a lot of us have moved away from it due to a few comments that we've heard or read online about why we shouldn't be using grease, but ultimately it's not a bad thing. You can use it, but you need to know how. So let's get into a few reasons why people may consider grease as a bad thing, and then I'll let you know how you actually need to use it the right way. The first thing we need to consider is that grease is not a moisturizing product. Grease is an emollient, and that's where a lot of people go wrong with using grease. And an emollient is basically an ingredient that provides a barrier over the hair strands, and it provides slip, and it is really classed as a sealant type of product. If you think about your oils, like butters, things like that are more sealant. We don't use them to moisturize our hair because they don't contain any water or any moisturizing product. Similar to grease, you will find the top ingredients is more often than not paraffin, and paraffin is an emollient. So we need to just get that into our heads that grease is something that we use to seal in moisture and not actually give us moisture. This is why you shouldn't use grease straight away after you've washed your hair. Now we've got that out of the way, let's get into the correct steps as to how you should be using grease the right way to grow your hair. The first thing, and it may be quite obvious to some of you, is you need to start on freshly washed and conditioned hair. Clean hair is very important. We want to always make sure our products are easily penetrable into our hair, and that is starting with nice fresh hair. After you've done your wash day, the shampoo and conditioning part, you want to apply your moisturizing products. These are your leave-in, whether that be a water-based leave-in or a creamy based leave-in or a milk or a moisturizing product or a lotion, anything like that, that is going to be your leave-in. Make sure it is a nice moisturizing product. This part is optional if you want to add a cream on top of your leave-in. Maybe you are someone who likes to use a water-based spray and then a cream, or you just want to keep with the leave-in conditioner. That is absolutely fine. This step is optional. After you've done this step, then you can move on to applying your grease. The grease happens right at the end of our styling. So you want to ideally make sure your hair is in some sort of protective style. Usually you can use it with a wash and go, but I probably wouldn't recommend using grease on a wash and go just because it probably won't give you a nice finish. It may be a little bit too heavy on your curls. So typically we tend to use this with braids or twists or cornrows, and how we can use it is either we put it on our ends at the end of our styling, or we can put it on our scalp as well, or both. You can also use it on the length of your hair, but really you want to really focus all your efforts towards the ends, because these are the parts that are going to need that little bit more protection because they are the oldest parts of our hair. If you're interested in seeing a demo of how I like to use grease on my hair, just click the card above and let me know if you still use grease or you're someone who gave up years and years ago. And I'll see you in the next one.